All right, so let's get into this week's recipe. We're going to do pavlova this week for foundations, or fundamentals, I guess that's what we call it. And I don't think I've ever done this for any of the fundamentals classes, so we'll have a little bit of fun with this. Pavlova, and if you check out the YouTube video below, it'll be pretty obvious what a pavlova is. It's a traditional Australian dessert named after a ballerina, if you want to get poetic. And it is more or less a fruit tart that has a meringue shell instead of a tart shell, right? Instead of the traditional crust. So we're going to make a Swiss meringue. If you remember what that one is, that's the one that's worked over the double boiler, and then we'll whip that up to fluffy peaks. You can do that in a stand mixer at home. If you have one, you can do that with a handheld mixer. It just will take a little bit longer, and you can do that with a regular whisk too. So you can whip that to nice fluffy peaks. And once you get that, if you remember, it will be nice and stiff, right? So we'll have a little bit of cream of tartar that you can toss into that meringue too. And then we're gonna pipe that onto a silpat. Now the way that we're gonna pipe that, or you can even dollop it. Traditionally, it's honestly dolloped with a large spoon, and it's kind of like the back of your spoon mashed potato gravy move, you know, where you scoop it through the mashed potatoes, and you leave yourself with kind of a divot in the top or a crater in the top, and you can go with that. But if you want to get fancy, you want to try something a little bit more fun, I'll send piping bags home and piping tips, and we can pipe out our shell, right? And that's what the video actually includes, that version. So to pipe that, you can take a plate or a ring mold. I don't think you have a ring mold, and I'm not sending them home either. But you could take an 8-inch plate or something round, a piece of parchment that'll be in your kit, and you'll lay that down, and with a Sharpie or some kind of marker, draw a circle, right? Something you can see. Now, what you don't want to do then is pipe your meringue onto this surface. I'm going to send silpats home too, and the way this works is you'll take your half sheet tray, which will also come home. You'll lay that down on you'll lay the parchment down on the half sheet tray, so you can see your circle. If you pipe your meringue right onto this, it will actually pick up the marker that's on the parchment paper, and then the marker will adhere, the ink will adhere to the meringue, and it becomes totally inedible at that point. Okay. Next thing that you'll do is you'll take your silpat, lay that right on top. Then you'll pipe out your meringue in kind of any artful way that you want. You'll notice that in the video they do some fun ones. You can do smaller ones too if you'd like. Please make sure you take a picture of when this is all done. I'm going to send home some whipped cream and a little bit of fruit purees. We have a couple different ones in the cooler there, so I'll probably send home a couple different kits. We also have, I just thought of this, we have cherry curd. Maybe I'll do that. We have cherry curd that's the advanced class made, and all you have to do is warm it up a little bit in the microwave and fold in some whipped cream, and boom, it works really well. One thing to remember is the containers that I'm sending home are not microwave safe, okay? Those are the compostable containers. If you microwave in them, stuff will kind of ooze out everywhere and you'll be in trouble. So make sure you put it in a plastic bowl or something, glass bowl, when that gets home. So we'll have our tart shell, that'll get baked off, or our meringue shell rather, that'll get baked off in the oven for about 1 to 2 hours. They take a little while to dry out. It's really easy to make, but it just takes time. And that oven is usually set at about 225 to 250, so a low temperature, and it's just drying that meringue out really well, right? You don't want to set it too high, otherwise it'll brown kind of before it actually dries out, and that's not where you want it to be. At that point, you'll have a nice little tart shell, we're calling it, and then you can fill that with your fruit mousse if it's cherry, or you just want to do vanilla whipped cream, which is totally delicious. And then I'm going to ask you guys for a little bit of help, maybe supplying some of your own fruits for this one. Some fresh berries, you can do oranges, you can do apples, you can do bananas on top, whatever you'd like. And if you want to do, you know, chocolate chips or something like that, that's all up to you. Use some of your home ingredients too. I didn't order a bunch of fruits in because they would be bad by the time the holiday weekend was over, so that got a little dicey, but gonna ask for your help on that one. So check out the video again. You'll be able to kind of decipher what a pavlova is. Again, you can make small ones or large ones. One thing I do recommend for picture taking is to take those pictures right away. As soon as you put your fruit on and your mousse on, it always looks the best then. You wait a couple hours, all of a sudden the meringue starts to deteriorate. It is ideally a dessert that you would take your meringue shell, you would fill it all up right away. It doesn't take long to do. You can do it in minutes, literally, after the tart shell's baked anyway, or the meringue shell's baked, and serve that. So that's kind of what we want to think of. So we're taking our pictures right after we do that. Okay? Hope everybody's healthy and well. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving weekend, and I will see you all on Tuesday.